as I think about my own journey with vinyl and the role that the turntable and the unit has played and why it's been so important, and I really want to kind of get your thoughts on how that's impacted everything. But when I think back to vinyl, my early days, it was maybe 2008 or so, and it was this fun idea because I started seeing new vinyl popping up of the records I had on CD and MP3, and they were popping up in shops, and I thought, oh, that's kind of novel, and maybe I'll get it as just a jumbo version of my CD, even though I didn't have a turntable. I grabbed my mother-in-law's turntable. The belt was disintegrated, so that didn't work. So another like year of them just sitting on a shelf as like a trophy of some of my favorite records. Then I was in Criminal Records in Atlanta. I think I picked up a Fostex, I think it was called. It was like a portable little plastic thing. I can't remember if it's Fostex. Anyway, it
Vestex is
sorry?
most likely Vestex.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was cream and it had a red logo on it.
Yeah, that's the one.
It was like an early suitcase idea. Very cute.
It's just been reissued by
okay.
by Korg, actually.
Wow.
They got the original designer from Vestex and then made a new version with it, which has like the Korg tube technology in one of them. It's got a nicer arm in the other, but they're anywhere between like, I think $600 and $1,200.
Oh my gosh!
Bit of a different proposition.
I'm sure this was like 60 to 70 US or something that I paid for it. It was I mean, it was an entry, right? And that's what I want to talk about with you. But so for me, it was like after I proof of concept, bought a couple records, I'm using this thing, realizing it's not that reliable, it's not that great. And then I upgraded to whatever AT had at the time that was like the one you would buy from Best Buy or like whatever they had. And then, you know, that kind of journey. And so what's interesting about it is that since 2008 or so, there's always been a great affordable new turntables to buy in case your mother-in-law's turntable is disintegrated. So there's always been, you can go and you can get a cool one, or you can get just a regular meat and potatoes one. That's always been available to buy. I think that's what's allowed this resurgence to take place. Do you agree that the fact that these turntables have been affordable and accessible?
Yeah, I think that's, so I think it's like before, so for us, we sort of re-entered the turntable market in 2007. So
okay,
you're on almost exactly the perfect timing then. But I mean, I think before that, your option was either you're a DJ and you had a pair of Technics, or you had some thrift store find, that's like if you're lucky, it was like an old Sensui or something, but like lots of just sort of really sort of average home stuff that's lived a life that I see in the late 90s into the early 2000s. Lots of people were just getting rid of what was just a pretty standard entry level or cadence part of the stack system player. But yeah, it really changed around when like people like us started bringing an affordable quality new player that was reliable and serviceable and just changed the way you're listening. Because vinyl, when done badly, sounds bad. Because people can expect this of kind of sonic revolution of like, the audiophiles use it, so it must sound better. Like, if you got a trashy old deck with like some kind of mystery cartridge from the 70s, a local record store of mine, Jumbo Records in Leeds, if you needed a new stylus, you would go in, you'd take your old one, and they had a catalogue with pictures and then just a tray of generic styli. Wow. And you went and kind of matched yours to the generic one was there. I mean, like, a lot of these are actually being made by us, being made by AT, or were versions of ones being made us. And I think in the in the 1970s, we were making, I think it was over 60% of cartridges on the market. We make a lot for other people. So yeah, lots of people would have been using, even if it was a good cartridge to start with, you're using some sort of generic thing that one size fits all or one size fits none stylus.
Yeah.
Like finding the right belt for an old Thrustore deck, if you even thought about that. I mean, like I had the advantage of that time having a direct drive, but then when the capacitors dried out, well, that was the end of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having something new and reliable just completely changed it. Because I mean, they sound good. I mean, like an entry level, or sort of like, I mean, entry level's changed since that time anyway. Because there's what was an entry level for us. We've made a model below it, and there's a lot of models like that with like the suitcase models.
Sure.
But yeah, your entry level deck would sound better than this thrift store thing that you've picked out or someone's given to you, or like, I mean, my first system came from a yard sale. That my father bought me when I was maybe 5 or 6. My next one belonged to my uncle, so that was sort of handed down.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there's nothing good about any of them. They played.
Sure.
And yeah, records that I had on record rather than on CD would play. But around that time, almost everything was on CD. And record was like, if someone was really like, it could have even been a bit of an inconvenience.
For sure.
But then as new good turntables came in, well, yeah, it's less of an inconvenience because all of them had built-in phono stages, so you didn't have to have an amp with a phono input with of questionable quality. And for people like me and the guys that I was hanging out with, we all had like small home studios, so we were likely to have some powered monitors.
Sure. And
you could just put it straight in.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And it's that sort of level of convenience that came there. And yeah, the ATs have always come with well, it started with the what was the AT95, which is now the VM95, or an AT91 or an AT3600. Like 3 cartridges that have been a mainstay since the 1980s and are super easy to get hold of styli.
Right.
So again, there's another taken out. You don't need to go and like do your stylus matching in your record shop. It's just like, oh, I need this one.
What was the tipping point in 2007? What's significant about that year?
That's a very good question. It predates me being in the company.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I think at that point, like, in 2007, from sort of like, I wouldn't say this is an official view on it, but this would be my sort of take on it, would be, I mean, there was a lot of independent music happening at that time. Like, band music, like, people having like garage bands and like the stuff that garage bands of lo-fi sound was huge.
There
and for the next few years. And at that point, like, having a 7-inch press was either that or copy some CDs.
Right.
And like a 7-inch, for example, would be a valuable like thing that you could actually sell. It's weird. At the time, it was a lot easier to get a 7-inch pressed than it would be to do a CD properly.
You're right.
So I think like there was, I mean, I've got a massive box in the attic of 7-inches from that time. I wasn't buying albums. The albums I'd buy on CD. All of the singles I'd be buying on 7-inch.
That's
interesting. Do you remember when people used to do singles? Where did they compare?
CD singles, remember that?
I mean, like CD singles always seemed like a, like you were paying a fair amount for something that just wasn't. Weirdly, a 7-inch single seemed convenient, but a CD single didn't.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I maybe bought one or two, and I would flip through the CD single section at HMV, but I don't remember what state of mind I would have been in to spend $10 on 1.5 songs.
But yeah,
the 7 inches were cool.
It's like that value thing, and I see it's flipped on its head a bit now, of like 7 inches being like surprisingly expensive in comparison to buying a record. But at the time, a 7-inch was a few bucks, like $5 maximum maybe. But yeah, if a regular CD was $15, but the single was like 10, and you felt shortchanged by that. A 7-inch was like, it really seemed like I
wasn't a part of the 7-inch culture back then, but I did have friends who were mail ordering punk 7 inches in the early 2000s. Was it mostly punk? Was it like indie rock, as you say, like that at that time?
Yeah, I mean, like there was a lot of punk, indie rock were, I'd say, the things really driving that there. And around that time, there's also like 12-inch singles for DJ. It was still was still a big thing.
That's true.
My brother was DJing a lot at the time, and I was actually going through his collection at the time of like really average house music, all on 12-inch, and it's like it looks like this huge collection. And then you go through it, and it's like, wow, there's really nothing after listening to it. But that's the thing. He wasn't buying records to listen to. It was buying 12-inch singles to play in the club.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, those were cool. Do you think? I mean, you got. I want you're maybe being modest, but I feel like I don't know if this resurgence, this 2-decade long revolution could happen without these, especially the AT players, because those are the ones that we would see everywhere before the suitcases came along. And I just don't think it could happen, and that it would have happened. And I think the proof is in, and I've said this on many podcasts before, but I think the proof is in cassettes and the wall that cassettes keep hitting, no matter how cool and how affordable they are, and I love them. But there just haven't been that Soundburger equivalent in the cassette tape world. It's coming slowly, but
it's expensive.
They're expensive. Yeah,
they're expensive for a format that like everyone knows is a bit flawed. And like, I'm not going to go into any tape bashing.
No, that's fine.
I mean, like I've been in bands that have released tapes myself, but and I mean, like. But part of like previously when I was in bands releasing things, like the tape culture was still driven by the fact that like we all had cars from the late 90s, early 2000s, and like this is going into the 2010s. Like you were driving cars that had cassette players
with the iPod adapter.
Oh yeah. We always tried to like. Hey, we've got a cassette player.
So let's find a cassette.
Let's find cassettes. But yeah, there was especially in the UK, there was a standard band vehicle was a small van called the LDE Pilot, which everyone bought them from the postal service.
Okay.
They were standard postal service van.
Okay. Yeah.
Buy them cheap.
Yeah.
And they had essentially it was a van that had 5 seats, so it's the perfect van vehicle.
Yeah.
Every one of those had a cassette player. But then I used to drive around in a Renault Espace, because it was like a 7-seat carrier that you could pull things out, and that had a cassette player. But then the small cars had cassette. So there was a one-time real practical usage.
Sure.
Tapes. But the new players, and I was really I saw an article the other day of I'm not sure whether I even read the article or just saw the link to it, of like saying like, is reel to reel going to be the next thing that's going to overtake from a sort of tape revival, because it has the audiophile purity, and it's like the old players, like with some cleaning of the heads, will still do the job well. But then I was talking with another guy actually I was in the OJazz showroom in New York, where they've got some CD players. And I walked in and they're playing CDs. Like, all right, it's like CD going to be the...
Well, I've been really attracted to some of these like Japanese high aesthetic CD players that the transparent, they're wall mounted ones. They're like, I've had them in my cart and I've almost pressed buy. They're expensive too. I mean, it's all 200 plus. Same thing with the cassette player that we've had on, I can't remember, We Are Rewind. They're 200 plus. So I mean, that's just, to me, that's where both the CDs are in better shape, I think, but where cassettes have hit that wall that allowed vinyl, for what Audio-Technica was doing, it allowed vinyl to just get going, because you could combine it with the thrift shop turntables and then the brand new turntables. I just feel like it couldn't have happened.
The price point, like it's something that's been ingrained in Audio-Technica from the very beginning. It's what the company started. The whole reason was to have like good quality audio and a price that's affordable to like the everyday guy. And like AT started by doing listening parties in Tokyo. The founder was was a curator in an art museum called the Bridgestone Museum of Art in Tokyo. But he was a big music fan, liked it. And well, this was the late 50s in Japan, where no one really had much money kicking around, no one really had much space kicking around. But this is also a time where there was this huge influx of records into Japan from mostly coming from the US, from like the GIs and things. And it was only in the 1920s that Japan got the entirety of Western classical music.
Wow.
So this is why like Jazz Kissa and Ongaku Kissa, the listening bars and cafes were sort of popping up and getting strong throughout the 50s and 60s. But because there was a great demand to listen, but there wasn't the money or the ability. So the founder of AT was doing these listening parties and then making a prototype, and like basically we started with a copy, a sort of pretty much a copy, but something very inspired by an expensive European model, and then started making it and made it primarily to start with available for the Japanese market,
affordable,
and then it spread out. But it was affordable. It was good quality sound that was affordable. We did two models, a higher end model and a lower end model. And that was the whole thing. It's just making affordable quality audio for everyone.
And that principle's kind of carried through.
That's principles always carried through.
Yeah.
And then everyone now knows the LP 120. In 2007, I think we actually called it the PL12. But it's basically the same model. It's like it's a close sibling. So when that came in, it was exactly the same concept. It's the same concept that's carried on, of making a good quality product, giving good quality audio at a price that's affordable for everyone. And since then we brought out models below, such as the LP60. That is like a real entry model, but the LP60 was more of we saw the market go sort of really quite low, and the LP60 was, let's make a entry-level model that fully functioned properly and worked as a as a turntable that had a proper stylus and wasn't going to damage your records and was going to play true and do it correctly. But that said, still to this day, our biggest selling turntable is the LP120, the sibling one released in 7, and it's like it's consistently the biggest selling turntable in that category.
Yeah, so, that's incredible. Well, let me ask you this, because when you go to your website, and this is what we're talking about, the first headline on the website says "new to vinyl?" ? It really, I'm guessing a lot of what you do is welcoming new folks into the hobby and trying to make it as easy as possible, as you've said, and historically. And in fact, the website is actually laid out into like 3 categories, where it's new to vinyl, step-up models, and then audiophiles. Is this the natural progression of vinyl fans? Is this like basically what the strategy is?
Yeah, I mean, like the audiophiles bit is a bit of a broad term on it, but like there's, because I mean the audiophile bit takes in a couple of turntables, but in the world of audiophile, they're on the sort of, I did a dramatic thing that made the camera. In the world of audiophiles, like it's the real entry into it. But like it's the audiophile stuff slightly more on the cartridges, on the moving coil stuff, the iron bit.
Yeah.
But we put it in a sort of new to vinyl bit and put it in those steps. And the whole product range is designed around those steps. But yeah, it's what the customer's asking for. There's people go and buy a record, then go, oh, what am I going to play this on?
Right, that's right.
Like ask a record store what like a common question from like a young person is like, cool, I've got this record. Like, can you recommend something to play it on? And there's like the new sort of generation and the people getting into playing records. Like, there's always been the thing of like, oh, like I learned this from my dad, or like this is passed down. And like, and I have a 22-year-old nephew who has an AT deck. I had nothing to do with this, but like after I found out he got one, it's like, oh, I could probably got you a deal on that. But yeah, I mean, like he hasn't learned this from his father. I mean, my brother like had a deck when it was little, the same way that I did, the sort of garage style ones that I had. But my brother, like the moment that the vinyl, he didn't have to do vinyl.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do it much anyway. He was more sort of tape and CD.
Sure.
But like, my nephew definitely wasn't learning from my brother.
Interesting. That is really interesting.
And well, there's this thing, there's a knowledge gap. There's a lot of people stopped and like knowledge disappeared. And I mean, even ourselves, we've had to, on some things with cartridge bits of like ask someone who's retired to come in and like give us some advice on sort of bringing something back or updating something, because there was like, obviously the market moves with demand.
Yeah.
When the demand disappears, like you don't keep on the guy designing the stuff it's not selling, or you're discontinuing.
That's too bad. So
like,
he must have been surprised when he got the call. He's like, "Wait, what?"
But I mean, like it's like, and you can see this. There's a bit of a gap in various parts of the vinyl manufacturing industry of this, especially when it comes to cutting. And there's a new one come out now, but like up until very recently, the last cutting lathe that was made in the early 1980s. And I mean, that's a huge bottleneck. Like, you need a lathe to do this. Some people made ones that you could adapt to Technics, but they're not really like, and they do an okay job, but they're not doing it really properly. It's only in, I think, even you can count in months.
Wow.
I'm not even sure whether one of the newest ones is actually, whether it's a prototype out, but like this company Australia making one. But but yeah, I mean, like, if you've got an important product, important bit of machinery that hasn't been made since the 80s and is therefore like really quite scarce, like the people to operate that machinery is even scarcer.
Sure. Yeah.
And like we've been lucky as a company, and it's part of us of a Japanese mindset of like, even in the days when sort of cartridge sales were down, we just kept on going and kept the machinery working and just kept things exactly as they should be, as a matter of respect. This is the core of the company, and we'd always pay such that in a way that certain other companies who stopped making cartridges in the past few years didn't do that. And then when the demand came back up, their machinery was shot. And then they looked at replacing machinery and realized that, hey, whoa, that's a lot of money. So like, we've kept a level of sort of knowledge and respect and sort of things going. But yeah, when it comes to new people to vinyl, like stuff that was just day to day, just isn't there.
Yeah.
You know, like they haven't, like people who are new into it just haven't picked it up from their parent who have Sonos.
That's right. And I find that so interesting, and I actually think that's so true of that's actually true of myself, despite the fact that I'm so embedded in vinyl culture today. I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and it was tapes and CDs, and my parents didn't have a vinyl collection. I would see it every now and then. Even my grandparents, they had a 8-track. And so I didn't have that, visceral upbringing that some people have. So I came to it late, but you're right. I think it's so fascinating when kids are coming to it with no history. There's zero nostalgia. Any kid born, like anybody born after the 90s, there's zero nostalgia.
It's like that story that goes around of someone's grandkid finding a floppy disk and being like, "What?" and saying, "Why have you 3D printed the save sign?"
I've never heard that before. Oh my god!
I think it might be something in the UK. Like
the save sign.
They're like, "Oh, you got like the."
I never thought about that.
Sign.
I never
save
thought
sign.
about
Why?
that.
Like,
you
cool. You 3D printed it. It's like, no, that. Like, this is where that came from. But yeah, that's a perfect example of it. Of a if you haven't grown up with floppy disks and only grown up with the digital, like sort of like emoticon of that's press save. When you see a physical one, you're like, oh yeah, that's save sign.
I mean, the same with the phone symbol too, right? My kids wouldn't have never seen a phone shaped like that.
People have done studies of the sort of this being call me, and like, but that isn't what a phone looks like anymore. There's been a study on that with I think they did it with Gen Z, possibly, of like what does this mean? And it's when technology goes out of the mainstream, it gets forgotten about very quickly. It just goes.
Sorry, let's go back to that thing just about the progression, though. Is that what I like about the hobby is this progression of go ahead, buy your suitcase to start, and then work your way until the point where you're buying a $1,000 unit, or you're upgrading your bookshelf speakers, you're upgrading your amp. In my case, I've done all of this, and even to the fact where I've upgraded the actual bookshelf that everything is sitting on. Are you guys getting a sense that this is just natural, that people don't dive in with a $1,000 player right away?
I mean, like, I think now some people do. And it's like, and especially as it's become a sort of more fashionable as an aesthetic thing. I mean, like, if you look at the sort of, I think it was Prada recently of having, I think it was Prada that essentially made a set that was like the OJAS listening room, that kind of thing. And like, like some people will just buy straight into the luxury element of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like it's something that is a natural thing.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
If like you talk to a young guy, they'll say like, yeah, like I'm going to upgrade this. It's,
Right.
It's one of those hobbies that's inherent in upgrade-itis, where like go along with it. But like, I think some people will buy a suitcase player and be like, cool, that's ready to go.
Yeah.
A lot of people will buy a suitcase player and sort of like, and know that there's other things up the road, and like, well, I'm starting here and going up.
Yeah.
I was actually I was out DJing the other week where it was actually an event that we were doing, but like there was a 13-year-old kid there who's like asking, like looking at the decks and being like, oh, are those like the newer like AT Audio-Technica DJ decks? And it's like, it's like
13.
yeah, I'd love to get those. And it's like the whole thing was like, it's like asking you questions about what to upgrade next when you're on a limited budget.
Oh wow!
It's like, how do you pick which record to buy when you're on a limited budget?
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, oh my gosh!
It's like, but yeah, that's
similar to the home studio market.
Yeah, it's like obviously the home studio market we're in as well. But no one buys like a mic for $80 and goes like, yeah, I'm like, I'm like I'm done now.
Yeah,
it's like
that's right.
It's obviously like people like us will try and form product lines and messaging and things that like if you're into that, make it quite easier path for you to follow. I mean, it's obviously it's within our commercial interests, but like it's also like we want people to have good sound and enjoy it.
Yeah,
and it's like, you make more money by selling more products, and like the more expensive version you make, the more money in things.
Yeah.
But the realistic thing is, it's quite an easy thing of like, especially when it comes to cartridges, especially, it's really quite an easy path of like, the more you get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, on turntables as well, it's like there's a point where it gets a little fuzzier and you have to like dive a bit more in. But like the difference between a suitcase turntable to an LP120, or even a suitcase turntable to an LP60 to an LP120, like it's quite clear what you're gaining there.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, sonically, I'm sure, and this for some people, they may not be hearing the sonic differences, or they are, but maybe not entirely sure. But what I love about it is the interaction with the product is very similar to a really, really cheap car and a luxury car. Like, things are heavier.
The sonic difference is like it's a diminishing scale. Like the differences are bigger on the bottom than they are on the top.
Right.
So that the more money you spend, like the less.
I know.
Like it's sort of tweaks and like little bits here, but like at the bottom end, it's I shouldn't call it the bottom end. At the sort of entry at the entry line.
Yeah.
End.
The starting line.
The starting line. Yeah. The jump between a suitcase turntable and an LP120 is huge.
Yeah.
It's like listening to completely different things. At the same time, the level of knowledge and setup and like sort of effort you have to put in also grows.
Right.
That's also part of the sort of the upgrade path things is also trying to put a knowledge path in there as well.
Right. That's a good point.
You can't just get. I mean, part of the flawed beauty of the suitcase player is you open it up, you pull the arm across, it goes, it plays.
It's idiot proof. It's very similar to the Fisher Price ones.
Yeah. I've got an 8-month-old daughter, and she has one of those. And it's you just do this thing, and it happens. Like the LP60, being the step in between. Obviously, you lose speakers. Yeah, but the moment you lose speakers, your audio quality increases massively.
For sure. Oh, for sure.
And for various reasons. But even though you don't have to do anything with the arm, the fact that it's packed in a certain way, and there's a level of setting up, and you have to like stretch out a belt, and there's like, and as a brand, one of our most, I think, if not our most popular YouTube video is how to set up the LP60.
Oh, nice.
But because it's like, it's not necessarily an intuitive thing. It's like, and the funny thing is, like, depending on which model it is and where you go, it's like the difficulty and complexity varies. Like, so if you buy an LP60, the complication is putting your getting the belt sorted out and getting the auto arm mechanism all working. So you actually have to spin the plat around a few times to set the arm and things. Yeah. Which, like, some people's quite a complicated thing. Sure. Whereas if you get an LP120, which is a direct drive, you don't have to do any of that at all. But your complication comes in setting up the arm. And anything, any way you go above a suitcase player, there's a level of setup and tweaking and complication that
which
you need.
A lot of people like, though, right?
Yeah, a lot of people do. Actually, the outlier in this is the Soundburger.
I want to talk about the Soundburger, but let me ask you though about, speaking of Soundburger, because I have one, and it's a joy. It's a joy to look at. The part about Crosley's, and I didn't want to have to use their name, but we'll use their name. I think.
Shout out to Petrola as well.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter has one of those. They seem to be one and the same. But what I think people are drawn to it, and listen, no hate on them because of the entry level. More people are buying records that I make, so thank God for them. But what I think is interesting about it, and I want to ask your opinion about the aesthetic. And this seems to be something that the suitcases do, especially the Victrolas are decorated in flowers and in camouflage, very cool looking products. The audio, the Soundburger is similar in a way, multiple colors, very cool. Mine is white. I'm curious, like, what you guys think about aesthetic with turntables and the role. And I mean, the LP60 and the 120, they've been sleek looking products, but that's got to be a big thing, especially when you look at project and stuff.
Aesthetics, like, this is a piece of furniture that's going in your house.
That's right.
And we live in a sort of Instagram world. Like, right now, both of us have plants in the background.
That's right.
And like, it's super important. And I mean, I think the thing with the suitcase style ones, and so when I was like a student and things, and like when we're in sort of like shared houses and like where your aesthetic was really sort of literally pinned to your wall. Sure. Like a real desirable turntable was going to be a Dansette, one of the originals. Because that, like, the sort of the 60s, 70s vibes about it, like that sort of world that did, like, super cool world that like didn't exist anymore. And like the amount of people I knew that had ones that like just didn't really work.
Right.
It's like on a record. It's like kind of. But I mean, aesthetics are everything. It's and you're having it in your house, and like there's a deck behind me there, which was actually one that I built. And there's a strong aesthetic design to it. Of it, I like plywood and and to that effect. So that's one that was built with a particular aesthetic in mind of having, which actually I'll get the camera's view over there, matches the speakers that I built to go with it.
Oh my gosh! I got to show you. We are identical. I've got to show you my plywood record collection. Go ahead. Sorry.
That was a conscious. I actually built the speakers first, and then was like, I'll build a deck to
match
up with this.
Yeah,
but there's. Let's see, I own my house with my partner who like isn't like, she likes music, but she's not a hi-fi person. She likes things sounding good, and she appreciates things sounding good. But when we moved into this place and I was getting some new speakers, I ended up with a pair of the JBL L series.
Oh yeah,
which is the ones with the orange foam front on them.
Oh gosh!
And one of the reasons why those were allowed into the house and the others weren't was because of the aesthetic,
the mid-century look.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
And then when I brought in a valve amp with a wooden front on it, I was thinking this is quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that came through, and it's like, I love the aesthetic of this.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's and you're like, so there's always a level of the fact that you're listening with your eyes as well as your ears. I know. Like, this is like, a turntable, a hi-fi setup takes up a large amount of real estate in your house. And if you come, a lot of Europe is more like New York than it is sort of like
yes, that's right.
Size and a house size,
not big suburbs.
Obviously there is that, but and we're over here in Europe, we're a lot more sort of living in flats and sort of smaller things where it's a big chunk of real estate within your house. So it's like of course it has to look good. And everyone tries their hardest to get things that are aesthetically pleasing. We have a range of belt drive turntables that are all wood, in the simplistic style. Yeah. Then there's the DJ or DJ style turntables. There's people like different things, but they have to be slick and look good. I've seen, don't get me wrong, I've seen some ugly turntables, but so the ugly turntables either been on the very low end or the very high end. Yeah. The low end being this is just functioning. The high end being it's looking like it's aesthetically displeasing for these reasons. Right. And it's a reason. Yeah. But it's a piece of furniture in your house. You're it has to look good.
Yeah, it's so true. And I mean, the aesthetic thing is important for us, the audiophiles, where it's the wood has to match the living room or the glass. It's all glass and glass. But then the aesthetic on the other end, the people at the entry point, they're
bright and colorful. It's
and both are valid.
And we're in our household. It's a very sort of mid-century Scandinavian, / slightly Japanese design concept here, where if there's a splash of color, it's probably going to be orange. Right. But we wouldn't get an orange turntable. But there's for other people, especially in general, the entry level is more sort of compact or all in one. Like it's not. My stuff downstairs takes up an entire cabinet just of little boxes. But the more sort of compatible one it is, the more sort of one bright standout piece. Like the Soundberg's a great example of that. The suitcases, like sort of like and I mean with the LP60 we did there was a couple of exclusive colors with Urban Outfitters a few years back, which which I think one was like a blue metallic, one a purple metallic, like sparkle effect thing. But, I mean, it was being sold in a shop that sells clothes and aesthetically pleasing things.
Demo,
for your flat in that younger day, and they came to us and said, "Hey, can we do an exclusive with
very cool
with a color that's gonna appeal?"
Is there more? Would you say the Soundburger? Was it going after that Crosley market? Was it a different audience?
I mean, the Soundburger has been it'd been something that there was a small campaign group within.
I heard about this to bring it back.
To bring it back. And I mean, there was some of us, myself included, that absolutely loved it. There was other people in the company who absolutely hated it. Some of them saw it as a sort of, and some people still in the company still do see it as a bit of a sort of, we're a serious audio company.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
It's like sort of like a vinyl toy. I mean, like, and like, yes, it's like if you're sort of a technical purist, it does track heavier than any of our other decks.
Yeah,
but it's not in a way that's causing any damage.
Sure,
because we've matched up a stylus that tracks at that. And and it came back as it was our 60th birthday. And started with our 50th, we did a sort of a range of special editions, which it was the first time we did a different colored M50. We did some special edition colored silver versions of classic microphones, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for the 60th, we're like, right, well, let's celebrate again. Yeah. And like, it'd been talked about, it's sort of like, oh, we should do this. And the 60th just felt like a good time to do it. And the market was saying, hey, like, we're selling lots of turntables. So our birthday was like a bit of a putting our toe in the water of like, hey, this is a well-loved product.
Yeah.
We're doing like we do special editions for our birthday. Let's make I think it was 3,000 of them. I'll find out actually. I'm just gonna ignore it otherwise.
Yeah, is it still oh nice. Is it still for sale?
So this was 7,000. There we go.
Oh,
I
okay.
have 2,591.
Are they numbered? Are they all numbered?
The red ones.
Oh, the red ones.
Red ones were special edition.
Okay.
It came out for the 60th. It's like, right, let's make 7,000 of these.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's see how it goes. It's a bit of fun. It's a celebration of our birthday.
Sure.
They sold out in 24 hours.
Wow.
And we went, oh, hey.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, really the sort of bringing back. So the white version, the black version, the yellow version.
Yeah.
And it was thanks to you guys. And it's like the market.
Yeah.
Like we're a company that listens. Actually, like our sort of company motto from the beginning has been always listening.
Oh,
this
cool.
is the case of listening. Like, you guys,
good for you.
You guys like went wild for it. And we'd made a load of marketing materials and the it sold out before we even got the video that we made out about it.
Like oh my gosh!
Material to sell the product
was unnecessary.
Well, it meant that when we brought out the yellow, white, and black one,
you
noticed that some of the promotional material that came out at that point had the red one in it, and it's because we had made all this nice stuff.
Oh wow!
So we actually brought it. We sort of recycled the stuff that we couldn't use and it came out. But it's brought back as a bit of fun and nod to history when we were celebrating 60 years of history, and then the market just said, "Hey, this needs to come back."
I think it's great, and I don't think it, for a lot of people, I don't think it makes sense as their only turntable. For me, when I bought it, it was for a second turntable. It was really just because it was a piece of art. That's what I thought it was. It looked like a piece of art.
I'm part of my wanting to bring it back and being part of the little sort of campaign group within the company is that I'm a big record collector, and it's often referred to it as the crate digger's friend. And there's, in sort of my circle, and a lot of people I know have bought one, because like you said about the Vestex, lots of record sellers and especially record buyers, and that was part of the thing of the handy tracks, was that you could take it to a flea market and listen to records. And people were doing that with the original ones. That's why the original ones were going for up to like $500.
Wow. I didn't realize that. So people would take it to a record store or a flea market with headphones?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
so then
gosh.
you could dig through, and like, yes, you could either listen on a like, do I want this level, or do a level of like, is this too scratched? Or is this too trash to play? But I use mine almost entirely for taking to record fairs.
Wow.
where I can listen to a record. And it's been terrible for my record purchasing, because I bought more.
Let me ask you, okay, I do got to let you go, but I wanted to ask about innovation in this space. And I love the Soundburger space concept, and that's actually USB-C and portable and beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But talk about innovation when it comes to turntables. When I first bought the Audio-Technica table that I had, there was a big push for ripping your vinyl, like digitizing, and it came with the USB at the back. And actually, back in like 2009 or whatever, 2010 maybe, I did hook it up to my computer, and I did rip one or two records before I realized that was a lot of work and kind of pointless. But there was that sort of archival concept, I think. I don't know for you guys if that's fallen off, if that's not really a feature people care about. But I want to ask you just about maybe that specifically, but also just innovation. Like, what's next for turntables?
Yeah, to start on the sort of archival thing, like we still give the USB out as it's still an option. Found that in general, that sort of like ripping things, like there's so much digital music available now that like people are more likely to stream. I'd say the archival has changed level, whereas like it's not really using the built-in DAC and the USB out. It's people archiving's on the other end, where people are talking to us about what's the best cartridge and stylus to do like an audiophile level, high quality, using an interface, doing it properly. And that's even on like DJs even who have got sort of like sort of dusty gold from like from
I see.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're carrying around expensive records, and you can't get that record anywhere else.
Yeah.
They don't want to keep taking it out, so they're doing the highest quality rip that they can. I mean, actually, we're just working on a project in Italy where it's the Italian Ministry of Cultures. They've got a huge record collection where we're helping the university that's got the contract for archiving this. So that is a level of archiving things that just aren't ever going to exist digitally unless someone does that. But that sort of everyday person at home being like, oh, I'll rip this and put it on my iPod. No, that doesn't really exist anymore. And there's also a thing of obviously there's a big thing that labels started putting download codes in record. Right. I know that actually statistically the take up on that is quite small. Yeah,
very, very low, less than 20%, maybe even less than.
But then the thing is, like, everything's on Bandcamp anyway. So so the cost involved in doing that, like, you might as well for the 20%. And that was an innovation that came in. That kind of fits on that. But we still offer that. And the big sort of standout innovation over the last 10 years, less than 10 years, 8 years maybe, has been Bluetooth.
Okay, I thought you were going to say that.
And it's not like, when I say innovation, we haven't had sort of like technicians in the labs going like, oh, what you? It's a making the product fit with modern life. And especially like, well, it's on the entry, the sort of entry to mid. No one's really doing. Some people are, but it's not so big a thing on the higher end. But if someone's coming into the world of vinyl, like, they've already got a Bluetooth speaker at home,
right?
And name someone who like doesn't. That's true. But normally when I say someone who doesn't, that was me up until I've only had sort of Bluetooth compatibility in my house for the past like maybe 3 years, 4 years. But then I'm an analog guy with it. But most people, like, people are more likely to have 6 Bluetooth speakers than 6 turntables, which is my example.
Or any bookshelf speakers at all.
Just people have that little Bluetooth tower, or you get Bluetooth headphones free with your telephone. So it's like, that's the thing of like, and we don't have a single product that is purely Bluetooth. It's essentially we've put a Bluetooth addition onto analog products. Every single AT turntable is a fully analog device. What we've just done is give an extra output option, where it's much like a lot of them have the built-in preamp. Some people need it, some people don't. Some people want to get into the world of the preamp or the phono stage is the first like sort of level upping there. Stopping using your, and like, if you've got an old amp, it's going to have the phono input. Most amps don't have a phono input. You have to have a phono stage. But it's just adding that connectivity to make, so you can literally bring, like, if you've got one record and a turntable, like, that's all you need to start. In a way, in the past, you would need speakers, you would need cable, amplifier.
It's a lot,
Whereas now, you've already, like, you can literally go to a shop, buy a record and a turntable, walk home, connect it to whatever you have. Got. And that's been the big sort of connectivity innovation. And the other innovation that's around it, again, it's not really an innovation, it's just I suppose it's an innovation in thinking and an innovation in presenting is, like we said before, that sort of step up, like having that path. And our full cartridge ranges over the past 8 to 10 years, we've made like clear and modular. And there's other brands that have done a similar thing. I think I'd like to think we've done it in a way that is the clearest of like having it so there's a clear path that if you buy so not the most entries, so not the not on the LP. If you buy anything from the LP6 above the LP60, it comes with a VM95 cartridge.
Okay.
And from the VM95, you can go from having a conical stylus costing you $30 through to a Shibata stylus costing you like $200. But the generator's the same, so we've let it out so you can turn your entry-level turntable into a mid-level turntable simply by swapping out the stylus.
Yeah.
So it's been a sort of an innovation in product range and communication there, of trying to make it as simple as possible and concise but like we've done that across all of the cartridge ranges.
That's cool. Yeah.
So it makes it simple.
Yeah.
And like there's a level of education that we're still working on and still doing, and like make that clear. But like for a product range, of the compatibility for everything. So it's like, you know that like you have a 95, so you can have anything from conical through to Shibata. If you have a VM 500, it's the same. If you have the VM 700, it's the same. It's just just making it as simple for the customer as possible there.
Well, that's interesting because I never thought, like, you do have a challenge where you have young people who are the furthest thing from tech savvy or analog savvy, all the way up to audiophiles who are particular over every component.
I mean, the real sort of interesting beauty of it is like on the majority of the models, not all. There's one of the cheaper models, but like they all come with not the basic stylus. It's the one up. So like, actually, what we did when I was in the VM95 range was we gave a downgrade option, which is like it has its benefits when for tracking and playing like 7 inches or particularly bassy things.
Okay.
But what it also does is give you a cheaper option for replacing your stylus.
Okay.
Like if your stylus goes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, if your stylus goes, like, it's like 35, like $40 or something, but you always have to consider that like it's just $40, but to someone like $40 is like you can feed it's a third of the cost of the turntable potentially. So then if you go, it gives you the option of like, well, actually there is a cheaper one. You're going to lose a little bit of sound quality, but you still get like a little. You
don't have to throw out the turntable.
Is better than not like how you use this tool. But it's just making that.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
And like we've actually brought that into what is the most basic of cartridges, that we do, the AT3600, which like it's provided on so many turntables. We sell it to a lot of people. It's the little white one that has an AT logo on the front. It's the same one that's on the Soundburger actually. But after years, and that's been, and you can trace the history of that product back to 1966 with the AT66, which was our first model that we made available for OEM. So we'd sell it to other people, essentially.
Yeah.
and that was a thing that came into. I even have one right here. Of this is the Hitachi VM.
Okay.
VM technology is ours. This actually just came with a deck that I was buying the other day just because it was cheap. I've got some vague plans for it, but yeah, it was like we would brand up for other people and then just sell our stylo.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 3600 is absolutely everywhere, and it's on the turntables of our turntable competitors even.
That's crazy.
We recently even did it with that, where we gave the option of upgrading the stylus on that to elliptical, because it had always been a conical, but it's always been a cartridge that sort of performed above its weight. But yeah, we've now given for, I think it's for like $5 or $10 more, you can upgrade.
That's
even
great.
Even the most basic.
Yeah. Oh, that's so incredible. First of all, I want to also say you've said this word twice now in this call, and I've learned something new. The plural of stylus is styli.
Styli, yeah.
I mean, that's probably, you probably say that word every day, but it's new for us.
So maybe I thank the British education system and being a Latin scholar helps me there. Or
Styli. I love it.
Yeah, it's styli and stylus.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's like cactus, I guess. That's probably similar.
Cactus and cactus. Yeah.
The last question here, and this will bring us full circle because we were talking about the vans that you drove with cassette players, and I just totaled my car, so I'll be looking for a new sound system in my car. But where are we at with getting turntables back into the cars? Where do you think will that ever happen?
You've got a Soundburger.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, but the sun comes through the sunroof, and then all of a sudden,
all cars have Bluetooth connectivity.
Yeah,
the
USB-C. That's right.
Yeah, the Soundburger has Bluetooth connectivity, and
I've never used the Bluetooth,
and you can charge it. You charge it over USB. So
okay.
I think the closest thing we're going to do to bring is there's like several people have done this on Instagram where they've got their Soundburger resting on the armrest.
On the armrest in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Mine couldn't fit though. Not with a record on it.
Well, I think
maybe
it's quite a fancy car to. But I mean,
maybe a 10-inch.
You would have to, and if you were going to try and move with that, you're going to have
good suspension.
A suspension there, but I mean, if you're plugged up, and that's the mad thing about sort of modern life and the connectivity, and it brings in the whole thing of us talking about having Bluetooth in turntables. Bluetooth is everywhere, including a
car. I honestly hadn't thought of that. I've actually never. Sorry, Edward, go ahead.
I was going to say you could take a selection of vinyl, and your Soundburger, out to like your favorite car park.
Open the trunk spot, and then you blast it through your.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I always take a lover's leap and yeah.
I always feel like the sun always messes things up because you start to hear the sun if it heats up the vinyl.
I mean, like European, I'm even looking around my neighbors.
You don't get the sun?
I say most European cars don't have, especially UK cars, don't have sunroofs.
Well, you don't get the sun very much either.
Yeah,
probably,
I mean,
too.
I can't see out of all of my
really?
neighbors.
You guys don't have? Oh, that's funny.
I can't see a single sunroof.
That is so funny.
In fact, the big Renault people carrier that had 2 sunroofs. It's
okay. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try it with and I'll bring the Soundburger into the car, and I'll connect it, and we'll see how it goes.
Like, take your
go for a little drive.
We always said, even from the beginning, it's like you can take your Soundburger on a picnic. That's always been in the 80s as well. There'd always been like, from some of the original materials, there are people listening in a park. But
do you know my?
Now you can
take it. I know. Does it have a speaker on it? It doesn't.
No.
Okay.
No,
I plugged it straight into my amp. I never looked back.
We'll. I think we like having a speaker is something that we always try and avoid.
Oh my gosh, it's garbage. It would be garbage.
But yeah, it's I mean, speakers like is putting like what turntables don't like is vibration. What you're always trying to do. Oh my gosh, yeah. Is reduce vibration. The one function of a speaker is to make vibration.
That's 100%.
It's the only way. I think we've actually put a small speaker in the Hotaru, the new turntable, the sort of design piece that we brought out.
Okay.
I think that does have a speaker in it, but the platter and the arm, the platter's completely floating. It wouldn't be affected by the waves of the speaker. I think that's the only, but like it's not something we're ever going to bring into a regular model, just because.
Yeah, that I never thought of that.
To do it properly, like, because you're only ever going to want it in an entry level turntable, but to do it properly and to have it isolated in a way that the speaker isn't going to affect anything else, would put in so much. It wouldn't be entry anymore. So much, innovation into technology and making that isolated that it would have to be an expensive deck.
Yeah.
Then, as an expensive deck, how many people want a speaker in their expensive deck? So it's like.
But what you've been saying about the Bluetooth though, like JBL, Sonos, the AirPods, like there are even the HomePods or the Google thing. Everybody's got something nowadays. I mean,
JBL have actually made a turntable now.
Really?
Haven't you? Yeah.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, it's I think it uses one of our cartridges even.
Well, there you go.
They decided, and that's kind of telling of what the turntable market is now. Of like, a company like JBL, who have always been a speaker company, have now brought out a turntable to sort of complete their I mean, it's a JBL accessory. Is a pretty reasonable turntable.
That's funny. The complaint, I want to give you a complaint about the Soundburger because you'll appreciate this. I can tell from the video that you have that you appreciate aesthetic, but this is my complaint. So I've got my tube amp, and then I've got my Soundburger on this table, and then I've got a speaker on either end. The Soundburger, if you center it on the table perfectly, aesthetically, between a speaker and the amp, it looks good. But then when you put a record on, it extends the left side and it is no longer center. And now you're too close to the speaker. It drives me crazy. Can you relate?
It's things like that I try and not look at, because then I'll never look at the same again. I don't think I've ever actually, I mean, my big complaint on the new version of the Soundburger is that it doesn't have it no longer has a volume controlled headphone out.
Okay.
And that is purely down to the fact that, I mean, like, I'm a guy who has a Sony phone simply because there's a headphone jack in it.
Right.
And like, you can tell an audiophile by whether they have a Sony phone.
Interesting.
Because all Sonys still have the 3.5 millimeter jack. Yeah, to me, for a person who lives in an analog world, having a Bluetooth output as the main thing is like, in a perfect world, I'd have an option. But if you had the option, like, you wouldn't, like, the Soundburger would no longer be $200.
Yeah, I know.
It'd have to creep up, and it keeps creeping. You always have to have a certain compromise.
Yeah,
and making a few sort of set in their ways sort of like analog audiophiles mildly annoyed. I think is like maybe the 1% of people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Edward, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. I love the work you do. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me along.